So thanks for joining us and welcome to our Fireside chat called Unite Your Video Strategy Across Digital. I'm Jason Harris, Director of the Video Strategy Group Americas here at Watch It.
And I'm Max Bergström, Video Strategist at Watch It. We also have Emily Harris from Watch It, leading the visuals from our screen. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
And we're, of course, very fortunate to have two of our partners speaking with us today.
Yes, Elsie De Marziani, Director Multiplatform Streaming Content at NBCUniversal Telemundo Enterprises. Hey, Elsie, thanks for being here. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Good. Thanks for having me.
And Andrea Girolami, Digital Content Development Manager at Mediaset. Thanks for joining us, Andrea. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks. Thank you for the invitation. Happy to be here.
Awesome. We're hosting this series of webinars to showcase the online video successes of our partners among all of us in the Watch It creative community. So thanks for everyone for being involved.
And you and the audience can be a part of the conversation by commenting and questioning in the Q&A section, where you can also upvote other people's posts.
That's right. So let's begin. Elsie, for the benefit of our worldwide community who may not be intimately familiar with Telemundo like we are, could you give us a snapshot of what Telemundo is all about?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jason. So Telemundo is NBCUniversal's Spanish language media division. We are the largest producer of Spanish language entertainment, news, sports, and scripted content in the United States for Hispanics by US Hispanics. And I would say our goal is to reach two key groups. So one being Spanish language content consumers, and what we call at Telemundo the 200%ers, which means 100% American and 100% Latino, looking for that cultural connection. So most of our content is in Spanish, but we also have culturally relevant English content for the multi-platform, bilingual, and bicultural consumer.
Awesome. I love that 200%. That's amazing. So you guys just wrapped up the Miss Universe this Sunday. You can catch your breath now that it's halfway through the week. But these big events are a normal part of your life at Telemundo, just before you brought us the Latin American Music Awards. So traditionally, we think of these as TV specials, but in our digital age, it reaches way beyond television, right? So for you as a director of multi-platform streaming content, what does it mean to be multi-platform?
Right. And that's a really important question, Jason. And the way I would summarize it is that it really means to have a unified experience to give your audience what they want, when they want it, and where they want it. So for us at Telemundo, it means super serve Latinos with the best entertainment content, sports, news, the way they want it, and delivered on the devices and the platforms they prefer. So in this photo that we're sharing here, we can see the family in the room consuming content, and it's a really visual example of what it means to be multi-platform. And it speaks to the reality that user behavior has changed, right? So we can see the parents are watching TV, the daughter is on her laptop, the younger son is on his tablet, and the other son is on his cell phone. And that's normal. And so nowadays, when we plan to launch whether a new series or a new show or event, it's a must that we plan not only for the people who will continue to watch live TV, but also for the people who are watching on all of these multiple platforms. So I think it's about having a strong video experience on all platforms. And I really think that most companies fear that by offering their content on multiple platforms that it could cannibalize their linear ratings or their views, but that really hasn't been the case for us. In fact, we've seen very positive results across. And like you mentioned, looking back at Sunday's Miss Universe show, it delivered audience growth versus the previous year in all platforms, in linear, in digital, and social. And the past two recent events that we had, Miss Universe and the Latin American Music Awards, really dominated across platforms. I mean, both ranked #1 most social program of the day across networks. Both broke record on the Telemundo app as the #1 most viewed special event. So, I mean, I think that really proves it. And I think being multi-platform is having that omni-channel strategy where you can create experiences for audiences that really bridge platforms to keep them connected to our content on every single screen whether it is traditional live TV or Telemundo.com or the mobile app or YouTube channel or even Peacock. I think there's a slide with a couple of different platforms which we normally prioritize, but I mean there's really a lot more than that, right? But we have all of these, and we have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and you name it. So yeah.
I love that you don't withhold the content from anybody. You don't shame anybody for using one platform and not another. It's you come to them, right? And I see this slide does talk about short form video, but a little bit later in the conversation, I know we want to ask you about long form. Max, take it away.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at this as well, looking at this sort of chart, and I'm guessing, you know, creating content for all these different platforms that, you know, it requires various formats, right, to fit, like you mentioned, the audience behavior on these different platforms. Can you walk us through how you lead up to a big event? You know, how you leverage each of the channels' strengths, I suppose.
Of course. So like I said, it's important first to understand what your audience wants on each of the different platforms so that you can serve a specific need. And you really have to rely on data to identify the different user behaviors on each, understand the length of the video, the format, and the type of content that's performing best on each platform. Because really it's no longer enough, nor realistic really, to send a video with the same elements to all platforms at once. If you really want your video to stand out on the different platforms, you must customize them for each. So for example, you may need to create different custom thumbnails, different titles and metadata, different formats, maybe horizontal videos that last a couple of minutes for YouTube and Telemundo.com, maybe vertical videos around 30 seconds for Instagram and other social platforms, and so on. So overall, leveraging data to position the right content in front of each user anytime they visit our platforms. And like you mentioned, when it comes to live entertainment events, we, for this past one, we did a couple of different things leading up to Miss Universe, for example. And just to share a little bit, during the weeks leading up to the event, we in fact creating some watch it videos for Telemundo.com, YouTube and social to continue to build that fandom and generate buzz that this event is coming up. Now, during the week of the event, we created 3 additional shows that were live streamed only on Telemundo.com and YouTube. And then for the day of the event, viewers could actually watch the show live on TV or on the go on our Telemundo app, which you can actually watch all our programming live there. So we also created individual short form clips in real time from the actual 3-hour show, award show. And we publish these across all of these platforms because the reality is that maybe you're not the type of person to watch a 3-hour live show, but you probably will want to watch Luis Fonsi's music performance or the moment when they announce the winner, and you can do it on the platform that you prefer.
Awesome. And that's short form, and that we're used to seeing television cut down, but you guys do something really interesting to me. You have long form on digital after the show, right?
Exactly. So we do have long form. We have different types of long form. And to circle back on short form, I do think short form, allows for scale, allows for discoverability, and it can support also the long form. For example, if you plan on launching a show or a series, you need to have a trailer or a teaser to promote the long form content. And we have different types of long form, which can range from 15 minutes to 1 or more hours. And some are published on YouTube, some are published on the app. It really depends on the rights. But most of our long form are what we call the full episodes, which mostly come from our popular series, our daily shows and or events. So what happens is that usually after the episode has aired on linear TV, we go ahead and publish the full episode to watch on demand on our Telemundo app. And some shows are also available on Peacock. So for example, if you missed Miss Universe show, you're still able to watch the entire 3-hour show that aired this past Sunday on our Telemundo app and on Peacock. And so viewers can really binge watch our popular series and much more on their phones. And overall, whether it's short form or long form, what truly matters is that viewers can relate and engage with the content.
Awesome. And just for our audience, we talk about ideal video length and stuff, and we know people are creating videos from like 15 to 30 seconds and up to 2 minutes. But I think, Elsie, in the Telemundo world, you still consider short form like Pitbull's performance, which was a little under 4 minutes. That's short form now. We'll all sit around and I'll watch a 7-minute short form on my phone, no problem, because my attention span is actually growing a little bit. And if it's engaging content, I'm there for it. So short form is turning into what used to be mid form, but we have to have like micro short form for like the actual 15-second teasers and promos that we used to think were short form.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Elsie. Max?
Yeah, thanks very much, Elsie. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us and giving us an insight into the Telemundo universe. We want to talk about the future with you after we hear from Andrea. So stick around, don't go anywhere. Andrea, before we really kick things off, again, do you mind telling us a little bit about who Mediaset is and what you do there?
Yeah, sure. Mediaset is one of the main television broadcaster here in Italy. Basically, we have RAI, which is the public broadcast company, and then there's Mediaset, which is the other player here in Italy, the main player. So sometimes we are second, sometimes we are first, but it's a big reality here in Italy as a television broadcaster, and has a big legacy because we have like 30 years or more behind us. So a lot of content that we keep producing, but we produce and we have on our cultural history of Italy, and we'll speak about this heritage going on, because we focus our presentation on how to use and really utilize at best our past content. My role at Mediaset is content development, basically. So in our platform, that is Mediaset Play, recently rebranded as Mediaset Infinity, is our proprietary video platform where all the TV content is hosted, basically. So the 90% of the content is videos from TV that is hosted online. So in long form, as Elsie said before, something that she said resonates with me because the strategy is similar for a certain point of view. So we have the full episode, and then we have a short clip in our platform of the TV content. But then we develop content that is original only for the digital platform. So it's not coming from the TV. We create original content at different levels. So written content, social video, that will be the main focus of our chat, and then original TV format, original video format. They are not broadcasted on TV, they are only digital, but they look similar. They are more, they are longer and elaborated. So my team follow all this little step of original content online on our platform and on all digital properties, basically. So social media and so on.
Sounds like you got your work cut out for you. And no, that's great. Thanks for that. And I know you said something there about the history and about the archive, and that's obviously one of the things we're going to talk about. And with that vast archive available at your fingertips, can you tell us a little bit about how you use this, in particular around Play Cult, and how you create social video based on this archive?
Yeah, sure. We use social videos, we will see, let's say, as a hook to attract user from social platform and coming into our proprietary platform. So we built, in the first slide, there's a little presentation, we built this property that it's only digital, that we call Play Cult, so Mediaset Play Cult, which is about our video archive. So we are very strong on new TV production, and we are pushing strong on this. But we said, what about the past? what about our history? Because Mediaset has very strong TV properties in the past. So we said, why not use the nostalgia feeling that we have all around the world, but in Italy is very strong, and to take out from the archive little peels of the best moment of Mediaset TV history and use to build this new property that we call Play Cult, which is a vertical part of our platform, of our Mediaset Play, and has a social video presence on Facebook and on Instagram. On Facebook, first of all, we have a huge success with our content, with our social video strategy. And so we, in a few months, we have more than 350,000 fans on Facebook, which is not bad for something that is only digital, not coming from the exposure on TV. If we go on the presentation, basically, this is what I said. So we have very clear in mind that our social video strategy is like to take parts that serves as a hook to bring people into our platform, because I'm part of the Mediaset digital business unit, and our digital business is to bring people into our platform and to show them advertisement, basically, at this stage, even if with our new Mediaset Infinity, the business model is changing, but until now, this is our main asset. So how we do that with the Mediaset Play Cult, if we go on, with a lot of social video that we build with Watch It very often on different platforms. And since we have all the content from all the past years already digitalized, it's a matter of distribution. It's only a matter of distribution. So the social video part of the strategy is very, very important. And as you guys from Watch It know, we produce a lot of videos because we had the chance to work with something that was already there. Basically, we just had to pick things. And we ran a little experiment into trying to find the perfect size for this distribution. So we experimented a little bit with different sizes, and portrait, which is a new format, the last format that is spread around the world, and the classical square format. So basically what we discovered together is that the portrait format is stronger on Facebook, for example, basically because the video is bigger. So bigger is the video, the more the chance that people are stopping to watch this video. And the square size is better on Instagram because you can see the caption underneath that works as a ping pong with the contents. No, you need to contextualize the video, and you need the caption. So it's very important. So we had this big discover, but in the end we realized that we need to tailor-made all the content for the different platform, because one sites work better on Facebook and the other sites work better on Instagram. So we are still producing a lot of different versions of the same video on different platforms. If we go on with the presentation.
Yeah.
So,
and I was going to say that it's smart, and I imagine you're going to always continue to experiment and see which is better, which performs better. That's very key to our process too, experimentation.
Yeah, as Elsie already said before, it's all a matter of data. For us, it's the same. So yeah. It was very useful to do this little research with Watch It with you, and to discover and to realize this, so we can even decide where to push more on different platforms. So for example, we realized that we have this big success on Facebook, because Facebook is so important, so big, still so big in Italy. So we decide to push more on that, and maybe to use more the portrait format, for example, after the analysis that we made together. This little slide is not strictly on the Mediaset Play Cult project, so about our archive. It's more an overall slide on how we intend the social video. So sometimes we see other players, even in Italy, that they make social video based on article, on news, and not on the image, or not on video, and that's something that we find not very useful. I mean, when I work with my team, I always say, if you want to make a video that it's better written, no, it's better in an article, don't make a video. If you have to make a video, that there must be in it something that you cannot write. Basically, that must be the difference. Otherwise, it's better to write an article. That's what I mean with footage centric, that it must show something very important, that it's that bring us to the second part, that it's show don't tell. Another thing that we say, and I share with you in the past, is that the perfect social video doesn't have any letter on it, any writings on it, because the more is understandable by everyone, not even in your country, for example, but even outside, and the better is. For example, about our Mediaset Play Cult, we had some performance, musical performance of Italian show, but with foreign artists, and that we put on social media, and that spread all over the world, because it's something that understandable everywhere. So, for example, music, and that's the third part of this slide for the perfect video, is a universal language, no? So it's something that it's always based on the footage. It's always, you don't have to explain with the writings, and it's universal. So sometimes music is the perfect video, the perfect content for social video strategy. And in fact, if we go on, we show that a lot of content that we created on Mediaset Play Cult are about music, because in our Mediaset TV history, we had a lot of music TV shows on television, and I picked just one of the biggest success, this Little Pills of this very Italian singer, has amassed more than 4 million views on Facebook. And we had, I think, more than 100 of that pills that amassed more than millions and millions of views on Facebook. And often they are musical content. So it's very interesting that music is so perfect for a social video strategy, because you don't have to do anything, basically, because it's very easy to edit. Just take the in and out, basically, and then put into watch it. And it's very useful on social media, because if it's something from the past, it's not something that you look for on Google, no? So you are not pulling from the internet. It's we are pushing this content to you. But once you find it in front of you, then you push the like button, basically, and that makes a success.
And you're hooked.
Yeah, you are hooked. You are into the Mediaset trap, basically.
Exactly. That's amazing. I love that. And I also I love something you said earlier there. You showed about show don't tell. Reminded me of university and reading books about writing and show don't tell. And speaking of books, Jason, I've heard that you've just released one. Congratulations.
Thank you for the placement, for this product placement.
No, it's incredible.
It's in Italian, so I don't know if people that are connected here are interested, but if there's somebody who speaks Italian here, is scrollinginfinito.it. That's the website, and I wrote a lot about social video. That is something that we built together in these years.
Awesome. So if we do take a look into the future, just for a moment here, what do you see, Andrea, as the big trend developing by the end of 2021?
Let's keep to the last. Okay, I see many things, and in many parts of the world, because I think that there is not only one future, but like the future is being distributed in a different way, no? So somewhere is coming faster, somewhere is coming later, basically. So a big trend that I see is the unbundling of the editorial projects. So we see a lot of little vertical projects based on content that are born around the world. So we speak about newsletter, social properties, editorial properties based only on social that are very vertical on a segment, on a target. And it's a trend that I see in the US, for example, or abroad, that it's very interesting because it's really a game changer. At the same time, I speak from an Italian point of view, that's not interesting at all, that trend, because when you speak to a global audience, you can modulate. So you can unbundle, as we said before, and you can go vertical. When you don't have that big target, you have to go mainstream. And in doing that, I have to say that here at Mediaset, we are very good at it, going mainstream and being very popular.
Amazing, thank you. And what about you, Elsie? Do you have any new initiatives that you're beginning to invest more in for the future?
Sure. So I think streaming continues to be a big opportunity, and Telemundo is investing to expand its production capabilities to create more original premium scripted content, especially to fulfill the growing needs of direct-to-consumer platforms. And so during the past couple of years, Telemundo has already delivered over 14,000 hours of original content to partners such as Netflix, Peacock, HBO, Hulu, and others. And in general, we know the media behaviors continue to change rapidly between linear TV and streaming. So we're betting on a multi-pronged approach that includes best-in-class content for linear TV programming and streaming. Because the reality is that it is really not just about doing linear television or digital or streaming. Nowadays, you really have to do all of it, right? You have to create and program and promote for absolutely all platforms.
Which keeps you very busy with your team. Awesome. Thank you, Elsie. We have a quick question here that I do want to address because it was pretty specific. Miguel Sanz asks to Andrea, do you think that the portrait format, the 4x5, is better for Facebook than the widescreen 16:9? Because we talked about comparing it to square. How does widescreen fit into your analysis, Andrea? And same thing for Elsie, if you guys have looked at that. Elsie, do you want to take it first, actually?
Yes. So portrait, like Andrea mentioned, does perform best on Facebook than 16:9, than the horizontal format. And it comes down to the user experience and to how it looks visually. It's just a smoother experience. It fits better your mobile. I think it comes down to where the users are consuming this content. And the reality is, at least for us, the majority are on their phones. They're not on their like laptops, desktops. They're on their phones. So really, once you know that, like I said, like once you identify with your data where they're consuming, how they're consuming, on our side, it's on their phone. So for us, it's better to do it portrait or vertical, because knowing that they're on their phones, it's going to look way nicer and it's going to grab a lot more of their attention.
Awesome. That's good to know. How about for you, Andrea, as you compare to widescreen versus?
Yeah, I totally agree with Elsie. There's this English analyst of digital trend that said that the smartphone is like the sun and everything else goes around it. That for saying how important is the smartphone in the content consumption today. So as Elsie said, the portrait format work best on Facebook because the 99% of that content is consumed on a smartphone, but it's something that we see also on our proprietary platform on Mediaset Play, which is not a social platform, but as we say, as we see the percentage of the users coming from smartphone, they are the majority already, even if in our proprietary platform, the content is wide and it's very long and is TV related. Even there, people are using smartphones. So on social media, that is the absolute majority. So when we produce something, we always have the smartphone in our mind. So even to choose the dimension of a font or a writing, we say, how do we see that on a smartphone? Can we see this information on a smartphone? And that's something that we all have to bear in mind.
Totally. And this was kind of a session today about television, and it ended up talking about mobile. So the sun rises and sets on our smartphones. So thank you guys. This is awesome. There's so much more I want to ask you, but we're a bit out of time. Thank you for everyone, Elsie and Andrea, for speaking with us. Thanks to Shatai and Derek and the entire Watch It family for the love and energy you give us on the series. Max?
Thanks to all the audience for participating. Of course, wouldn't have been able to done this without you. So thank you, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks, guys. Happy video making.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care. Bye.